Okay, let's start with number A. Okay, this is the practice problems for set 53. We have the problem says 3 raised to the 0 power times y raised to the negative 2 power times z raised to the 5th power divided by x raised to the 3rd power. All of that fraction raised to the negative 3 power. Now this looks really complicated, but if we understand the power rule states that any fraction raised in parentheses to any power, not any fraction, any variable, any fraction, any factor raised to a power, and that entire element is raised to a power, these powers can be related as multiplication, m times m. Okay? Even if that is a fraction. Then it becomes 1 over x m times n. Okay? The only time it doesn't work is when you have something like this. This does not equal x to the 4th plus y to the 6th. Does not equal that. This is a binomial multiplied to itself, and this is not the answer. Okay, so don't do this. You've seen this other places. This is actually x squared plus y to the cubed times itself, x squared plus y to the cubed. And then this has its own rules for distributing the terms. Okay? And we've done this a few sections ago. So it's a little more complicated. But the power rule is very simple as long as you have factors, not additions and minuses. Factors or fractions. This is where this will work. So going back up to our original problem, we have, to simplify this, we just take the exponent and multiply it by each exponent. Okay, so we have 3, well, negative 3 times 0 is 0, right? And y, negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. Okay, I guess you can't see. 6, okay, don't pay attention to that. Z, negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And all of this is divided by x raised to the negative 3 times 3, which is negative 9. So this is really our new fraction. Now we still have some simplification that we can do, because to make it look a little bit nicer, it doesn't change the value, but it makes it a little bit easier to read. We want to get rid of the negative signs, and we don't want to write anything with a 0 as an exponent, because this just equals 1, and we're not going to write down 1. Okay. The other thing we want to worry about is we want to write our variables in order of their highest exponents first. You'd think, oh, well, then we'll just start with y to the 6th, because this is going to become a denominator, z to the 15th as a denominator. But wait, we have x to the negative 9, which means it's 1 over x. Well, a fraction divided by a fraction means that this is actually a numerator. So it should be written first, because x to the 9th is larger than x to the 6th. So we'll write x to the 9th, y to the 6th. Right? And then that is divided by, notice I didn't write the 3 because that equals 1. That's divided by z to the 15th. Okay, so this is the simplest. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit, make sure we understand this. So this is actually a fraction. X to the negative ninth, just by itself, is equal to 1 over x to the ninth. When you have something like this written in the denominator's position, it's the same as saying 1 divided by 1 over x to the ninth. And remember from our arithmetic, when we want to divide a fraction, we take the reciprocal of the fraction and we multiply. So it's 1 times, the reciprocal of this is x to the ninth. I should write a dot. Okay, so it's 1 times x to the ninth. Well, 1 times x to the ninth is x to the ninth. So going back, x to the ninth equals 1 over x to the ninth. And this came from one over x to the negative ninth. This 1 over x to the negative ninth equals 1 over x to the ninth, which is a fraction. That's what that negative sign means. It means it's a fraction. It's in the denominator. And when we carry out this division here, it becomes a multiplication because we take the reciprocal and we have x to the ninth as an answer. So that's why we wrote x to the ninth here, because x to the ninth is a numerator when it has a negative sign in the denominator's position. By the same logic, when you have a numerator that has a negative exponent, it is a denominator because this is a fraction and it belongs in the denominator. And you can work this out just like I worked it out down here. It's 1 over z to the 15th, which is equal to this.